I didn't expect a Kainu admiral to give up like this. I thought he would capture the Straw Hat pirates directly, Tashigi said. No one thought that there was such a big figure standing behind the Straw Hat pirates. In front of this, even a Kainu admiral would not dare to act rashly, Smoka said, smoking a cigar. Gabriel Yuri, is it really that powerful? It's admiral of headquarters, known as the lava fruit capable of moving natural disasters, Tashigi said. You are still young, and you have been in East Blue in recent years, so I don't know the horror of Gabriel Yuri very well. It is a monster through and through. Even the 4 emperors of the past are not as horrible as Gabriel Yuri. It is worthy of the name. The biggest horror in the world, Smoka said. At the same time, Smoka thought secretly in his heart, what is the origin of this Lu Fei? In Logetown, the world government's biggest criminal, the Revolutionary Dragon, took action to protect Luffy and sent Luffy out to sea. When he was in Logetown, the dragon had fought fiercely with people, and now it seems that it should be Gabriel Yuri. Is it because of Luffy? Now Gabriel Yuri is standing behind Luffy again, helping Luffy stop a Kainu admiral. What is this Luffy worthy of Dragon and Gabriel Yuri? What do they like about Luffy, and what are they planning? Smoka frowned, he feels this Luffy is very dangerous. Although he is just a fledgling newbie, but he can't forget the scene on the execution stage in Logetown. At that time Luffy was about to die by Buggy's knife, but Luffy laughed. He could see that Luffy didn't know in advance that he would be saved. He is really able to face death calmly, such people have incomparable will and power. Destined to be extraordinary in the future, if this is only the case, Luffy is just a dangerous pirate. But when the Revolutionary Dragon and Gabriel Yuri stood behind Luffy, the danger increased countless times. Smoka felt that this matter was getting more and more troublesome, and he could no longer handle it. Uncle, please train us again. After Akainu left, Luffy and others rested for a few days. After some thought, Luffy said before coming into the dragon again. The confrontation with Akainu took less than a minute, but Luffy deeply felt his weakness when facing Marine Admiral. He deeply understood that if it was just this kind of strength, there would be no way to enter the New World where the strong gathered. If the strength of New World is so strong, then they will definitely be hit hard when they enter New World. He doesn't want to lose his partner. When facing Sakazuki earlier, Luffy really felt like losing his partner. He dared not feel this way again. Indeed, our strength is still too bad. With our current strength, facing Admiral-class pirates, there is no power to resist at all, Zoro said. Also feel the lack of strength as Zoro, when facing Sakazuki, let Sakazuki stand there and let them attack. In the end, they were injured. Zoro doesn't think Sakazuki can't hide from their attacks, but Sakazuki doesn't think he needs to hide. In Sakazuki's eyes, they are like bugs that can be abused at will. In fact, with the strength gap between them, this is indeed the case. No wonder armament hockey is the foundation of the New World powerhouse. If armament hockey is not strong enough, facing such a Logia powerhouse, there is no room for backhands, so let the opponent handle it, Sanji said. Facing Sakazuki's weakness, Sanji was able to appreciate it best. In the face of Sakazuki, his most proud kick was useless, and hitting the opponent would cause him huge damage. If it weren't for the intense burning that made him instinctively activate armament hockey, I'm afraid that this leg of his will be abolished. Therefore, he also agrees very much. Before entering the New World, train well and make your strength stronger. At least armament hockey needs to be able to use it proficiently. Otherwise, just enter New World like this, they will encounter the same setbacks. Hehe, you don't actually have to worry too much. Sakazuki is a top-tier presence even in New World. When you go through some more battles, armament hockey can become more proficient. It should be enough to venture into New World by then. Yuri smiled. But it's not enough to be the One Piece, Luffy said. One Piece? It's true, it's not that simple to become One Piece, and once you become One Piece, the whole world will target you. Strong people from all over the world will challenge you and want to use you to become famous at that time. What you have to face is the strong in the whole world. There are still many powerhouses in this world: Whitebeard, Kaido of the Beasts, Red-Haired Shanks, Shichibukai, and more importantly, world government and Marine will never let One Piece exist. Marine's 3 Admiral, and Fujitora T. Dolphin Momoshage, the 3 Quasi-Admiral, and Sengoku Garp, any one of them can completely wipe out you now, Yuri said with a smile. Sure enough, it is not that simple to become One Piece, so I need to become stronger, Luffy said firmly. If you want to become stronger, I have an extremely ideal training place, and I also become stronger there. This is a special training place for our Giadi dynasty, Yuri said with a smile. Uncle, is the training place, is it in New World? Luffy asked. No, Just in the first half of the Great Navigation Road, a place called Boeing Islands, Yuri said. I'm going. We'll go to Boeing Islands, Luffy said. So everyone decided to change their voyage to Boeing Islands. Yuri has the eternal pointing needle and life directly to the Boeing Islands, so there is no problem to go to the Boeing Islands. However, some things need to be prepared before departure, such as food and fresh water along the way. At this moment, Vivi came to Luffy and them. Luffy, there is a Marine Vice Admiral coming to you, saying it's your grandpa. Vivi said. No, go quickly, or you won't be able to leave for a while. Luffy said, his face changed drastically. Where are you going? Luffy. At this moment a voice came from behind Vivi, stopping Luffy who was about to ask for it. Master, Grandpa, Luffy watched appear next to Luffy, Marine Vice Admiral exclaimed. Cough, cough. Marine Vice Admiral is Luffy's grandpa? I heard Luffy call this grandpa Marine Vice Admiral who just came in. Luffy's companions all exclaimed. Yes, he is my grandfather, Luffy admitted. Kiss, isn't this Garp? Yuri said with a smile. Garp? Garp is the name of that marine hero, Nami exclaimed. Is that the super famous Marine Vice Admiral Garp? Wei Wei also said in surprise. Ah. Everyone was stunned with their jaws. Luffy, is he really your grandpa? Zoro asked. Yes, don't shoot him, I was almost killed by him countless times, Luffy said. Hearing Luffy's words, everyone opened their mouths in surprise. Almost killed by him countless times? Are you, 093, sure that this is really your grandfather? Not your enemy? Hey, you can misunderstand others when you say that, Garp said. I threw you into the abyss of thousands of feet, exiled you into the rainforest at night, and tied you to a balloon and flew into the air, all to make you a strong man, Garp said. Hearing Garp's words, cold sweat burst out on everyone's foreheads. I finally know now why Luffy has such a tenacious vitality, Sanji said in shock. Finally, I got rid of my friends and let you train with Ace. A little carelessly, you went out to sea and became pirates. The old man wants to train you into the strongest marine soldier, Garp said. Didn't I keep saying that I want to be a pirate? Luffy? You were all broken by the redhead. Garp, fragrant, Shanks is my savior. Luffy. Do you know what a terrible pirate red hair is? Garp said. Shanks, how are they? Are they there? Luffy asked. When Luffy asked about the red-haired Shanks, Garp fell silent suddenly. He glanced at Yuri and said, he is also at the apex of the many starry pirates now. A few years ago, he was listed as one of the emperors of the sea with Whitebeard, and was called the 5th emperor of the sea. Well, he has a good life, I really miss it. Luffy took up his straw hat and said. Does Luffy still know that red-haired Shanks? Mr. 3 asked in surprise. Mr. 3 and Miss. After Kazuki Luffy and them during Golden Week, they decided to take Luffy's ship and enter the new world with them, Luffy agreed. Because Miss Golden Week is a painter, and Mr. 3 is not only a stylist, but his Candle Champions cup makes Luffy's eyes shine. Luffy's straw hat seems to be given to him by that person. I didn't expect it to be such a famous person, Nami said. However, a few years ago, the redhead Shanks was defeated, and the one who defeated him was the Gabriel Yuri in front of him, Garp said. What, uncle, are you Shanks's enemy? Luffy said dissatisfied. A few years ago, Shanks came back from East Blue, and he has grown in strength. He wants to challenge New World and become the new emperor of the sea. He fought with Whitebeard Kaido and others. He was recognized by everyone in New World, but he wanted to become the new emperor of the sea. I still need to get recognition from me, who was one of the 4 emperors at that time, so he came to Gabriel Dynasty to challenge me, and was finally defeated by me. I kept him in the dungeon under Gabriel Palace for several years, but he was given to released. He is now having a leisurely banquet in New World, Yuri said with a faint smile. It turned out that's it, that's good, you don't know each other if you don't fight, Luffy said with a smile. Gabriel Yuri, what are you thinking? Garp said to Yuri dissatisfied. Aha, the grandson of marine hero Garp, the son of the revolutionary dragon, the flag bearer promoted by the red-haired Shanks, the brother of Roger's son, One Piece, Luffy will not be boring when he goes to sea. I'm just boring, so I just board the special seat to watch, Yuri said with a smile. Hearing Yuri's words, everyone present opened their mouths in surprise. Luffy is the grandson of the marine hero Garp, who just surprised them. Now I heard that Luffy is the son of the revolutionary dragon. Redhead Shanks launched the standard bearer, One Piece Roger's son's brother. Who is the revolutionary dragon? That is the leader of the entire world revolutionary army. Pirates will not take the initiative to attack the world government, but the Revolutionary Army will. Because of the Revolutionary Army, many countries in the world have set off rebellions, and several countries have been destroyed because of the Revolutionary Army. Therefore, the Revolutionary Army is the biggest enemy for the world government. The leader of the Revolutionary Army, Long, is positioned as the most murderous criminal by the world government. Luffy turned out to be his son. What kind of family is this? Grandpa is a marine hero, and my father is indeed the most murderous criminal in the world. And the red-haired Shanks is extraordinary, one of the world's top pirates, known as the existence of the Emperor of the Sea. One Piece's son's brother, One Piece Roger, had a son, and Luffy became the brother of Roger's son. Not to mention that just one Pirate King Roger is enough to stun the jaw. These identities can shake the world a few times, and now they are all concentrated on Luffy. Even the thick nerves of everyone were stunned. Send? When did I become the son of some dragon? Luffy asked suspiciously. Don't Luffy know? Did the uncle make a mistake? Everyone was puzzled. No, Dragon is indeed your father, his name is Monkey. Dragon, by the way, haven't you seen him before? He said he will go to Logue Town to see you off, Garp said. Send? Is there such a thing? Luffy asked suspiciously. Dragon has indeed been to Logue Town and rescued Luffy from Buggy and Marine, but they didn't recognize each other and they had a fight with me, Yuri said with a smile. Ah, that person, is he my daddy? Luffy only remembered the man who rescued him from Smoka in Logue Town at this time. What, didn't that guy recognize you? Garp said. Well, let's not talk about it, Luffy, you have to follow me today, and be a marine honestly, Garp said. No, I want to be a pirate, I want to be a pirate king, Luffy said dissatisfied. What? Say it again, my love Iron Fist is already hungry and thirsty. Garp clenched his fist and said. No, I don't want to be a marine, Luffy said. Never mind if it is usual, this time you have to follow me, you have gotten into the biggest trouble in the world, Garp said. Hey, Garp, didn't you mean me? Yuri raised his head and looked directly at Garp and said. You are quite self-aware. You are the biggest trouble in the world right now. No matter what, if you are infected, you will attract the attention of the whole world government marine. You are a huge trouble. Garp dug his nostrils and said. Others may still be afraid of Yuri, Garp is not afraid. Although Yuri is very strong, but for people like Garp, he will not be afraid of life and death. Being fearless is naturally not afraid of Yuri. If usual, Garp would let Luffy mess around, although he didn't want Luffy to be a pirate at sea. But he understands that Luffy will never do things like robbery and bullying civilians. He understands better that with Luffy's lawless character, it would be better to be a pirate. After staying in Marine for so many years, Garp also understands very well that there is also a dark side in Marine, not to mention the world government behind Marine's th. And because of the identity of Luffy's father, if he were to be Marine, the world government would sooner or later make a fuss with him. So when Luffy wanted to be a pirate, Garp actually condoned. But now it's different, Luffy now involves Yuri. In this ocean, no matter what, once Yuri is involved, it will inevitably arouse great attention from the world government and Marine. Garp fully understands what it means to attract world government Marine's high attention. Regardless of the number of sea pirates like Stars, but except for those sea emperors, the other pirates, world government, did not take it seriously. If the world government wants to clean up them, ordinary pirates will never escape. What bothers the world government is only the current situation of the sea, and the emperors of the sea, as well as the Canadian Emperor Lai. Once Luffy is targeted by the world government, Garp can imagine that facing Luffy and them will be devastated. At this time Yuri smiled and said, it seems that without me, your grandson can be honest. Your family is the root of disaster, and it is destined to stir the sea. Haha, that's what I said, ha ha ha. Garp admitted it after hearing it, and seemed very proud. Rest assured, I will not do anything next, and I will take them to the Boeing Islands, so that they can improve their strength, Yuri said. Is the Boeing Islands? It is indeed a good place to improve, but isn't it almost exhausted a few years ago? Garp said. It seems that your investigation of the Gabriel dynasty is quite detailed. Indeed, the Boeing Islands have begun to dry up a few years ago, Yuri said. Will the island dry up? Zoro said in surprise. Boeing Islands is actually not a real island. It is a huge carnivorous plant called the Baron of the Stomach. It is huge, just like an island. There will be a temptation food that can seduce sea beasts growing on it, tempting sea beasts to go up and eat. Then the Baron of Stomach will close the island and swallow all the sea animals on the island, Yuri said with a smile. There are still such terrifying islands in the world, Usopp exclaimed. It's horrible, so do I have to go to the Boeing Islands? Hey, uncle, you won't let us go there on purpose to feed the Baron of Stomach? Nami said in surprise. The cannibal island is so terrible, I don't want it, it will be eaten. Chopper burst into tears in shock. There is such an island, but this island should be more than that. If it were only like this, it would not be called a sacred place for cultivation, Zoro said. The food on Stomach Baron Island is called temptation food. It is a kind of food that can make people appetite and hungry. Food has extremely high nutrients, and these nutrients are especially easy to absorb. If you are not careful, you will make a fat man. But as long as you exercise strong training, let your body absorb the nutrients in those foods, and let these nutrients become your strength can make people grow up quickly, especially for Usopp Nami, who has not very good physical talents, and there is the only place that can make you change your destiny, Yuri said. There is such a delicacy in the world, Sanji said in shock. As a chef, he understands very well that no matter how delicious the food is, it is impossible for people to keep eating. Unless a big stomach king like Luffy, otherwise, even if the food is delicious, it will be greasy and supportive. Usopp, they were silent after listening, since going to sea, they have understood that their strength is a drag in the pirate group. So they also thought of ways to improve their combat strength. For this reason, Nami also specially asked Usopp to help him make weapons. However, their strength is still at the bottom. If faces a stronger challenge in the future, it will inevitably become a drag again. This Baron of Stomach really has such a good thing, as Yuri said, they really want to go. But, didn't you just say that the Baron of Stomach has withered? Nami asked suspiciously. The Baron of the Stomach is a huge plant. It devours a large amount of food to nourish itself, thus growing an incomparably nutritious gourmet delicacy, and relies on the doubtful delicacy to attract a large amount of food, thus forming a perfect cycle. However, I discovered Boeing Islands a few years ago and arranged the Gabriel Dynasty Qianlong camp for training here. The influx of a large number of people disrupted this cycle, so the Baron of Stomach gradually withered. But fortunately, we discovered this in time, evacuated all the trained people, and let people capture a large number of Sea King's beasts to feed the Baron of Stomach, which restored the Baron of Stomach. But even if the Baron of Stomach still hasn't recovered to his original state, he can't withstand a large number of people training on it, so now even the Qianlong camp of Jiadi Dynasty Lai, there are only a few people who are qualified to train there, Yuri said. Is this the Boeing Islands? They all look delicious. I seem to smell an extremely delicious smell. Meat. I want to eat meat. Luffy quickly rushed towards the center of the Boeing Islands. In the end, Garp couldn't stop Luffy, and Garp also feels that Boeing Islands is a good training place. Luffy will go to Boeing Islands to train with Yuri. There is no harm. After all, this world depends on personal strength. As long as the road strength is strong enough, even if it is targeted by the world government, it will be able to cope better. And with Luffy's character, if you want him not to cause trouble, it's harder than going to heaven. Garp is also getting old. After all, he can't protect Luffy for the rest of his life, and he needs Luffy to grow up by himself. And there is one thing Garp has to admit, when it comes to teaching people, Yuri is above Garp. Yuri is not only the only one in the world that develops Devil Fruit to the second awakening level. And it is also an ordinary person who trains his body to ultimate, even to the extraordinary realm. When it comes to cultivation and how to cultivate a person to be strong, I am afraid that no one in this world can compare to him. As for the purpose behind Yuri's training of Luffy? No matter what purpose Yuri has, he needs to train Luffy first. With Luffy's current strength, there is no place worthy of Yuri's plan. And Luffy is only 17 years old, and he is even unfamiliar with armament hockey. It will take several years for Luffy to grow up. Judging from Yuri's current state of old age, I don't know if Yuri will be alive at that time. It's not easy here. After stepping on the Boeing Islands, Zoro said solemnly to Sanji and others on the side. Actually, there is nothing strange. After all, this is a forbidden place for the Gabriel dynasty. If it is simple, it would be strange, Sanji said. The strength of the people just now is above us. The most important thing is that these are very young. The youngest are only 10 years old. They have such strength. It feels like we have all lived on dogs. I really deserve it. It's from the Emperor Lai dynasty, Ajin said. Are those little ghosts that strong? Usopp said in surprise. It's super strong, Zoro said. When they arrived at Boeing Islands, they were immediately stopped by some people. These people are very young. The youngest are only about 10 years old, and the older ones are only 14 to 5 years old. But everyone exuded a very powerful aura, which made Luffy Zoro extremely vigilant. Luffy and the others feel that anyone here can beat them. It's like entering the lair of Sea Kings. Fortunately, Yuri came forward, which allowed everyone to enter the Boeing Islands smoothly. After entering the island, this feeling deepens. Zoro quickly felt that there are many powerful auras on this island. Like a ferocious beast, no one feels that his strength is above him. Does that mean that the training on this island is very useful? Nami said. Hearing Nami's words, everyone's eyes lit up. I look forward to it even more here. Everyone walked towards the island. You are here, everything here is so delicious. When everyone went to the depths of the island, they smelled an extremely delicious smell. When everyone walked in and took a look, they saw countless delicacies appearing in front of them. Among the food, there is a big fat man who is eating this food madly. Luffy? Seeing this big fat man, everyone couldn't believe it. Hey, how long is this, Luffy, you have become such a big fat man? Zoro said in surprise. This big fat man turned out to be Luffy. After a while, Luffy has become a fat man. It seems that this temptation food really has tremendous nutrition, and this nutrition is extremely easy to be absorbed, otherwise Luffy would not be able to eat such a fat man so quickly. Sanji said. Well, delicious. Nami picked up a delicacy and ate it, exclaiming, and all her saliva remained, and then quickly ate the delicacy on it. Is it so delicious? Sanji unconvincedly picked up a delicacy and ate it, and soon he fell into a frenzy. The same is true for others. The temptation food has a scent that stimulates the appetite and makes people eat desperately without feeling overwhelmed, because the food eaten is quickly digested, and everyone will eat it into big fat people in a blink of an eye. Especially Luffy, he couldn't move around eating, and the whole person was round and round. At this moment, the entire island vibrated, and the surroundings of the island began to close like petals. All the creatures on the island are toward the center of the island, and a mouth with numerous dogs interlaced with teeth falls out. In normal times, it wouldn't be troublesome for Luffy and the others, but now they all eat round and can't even walk, let alone save themselves. One by one they fall towards the mouth of the Baron of Stomach. At the moment of crisis, Luffy's hand stretched out and grabbed a vine, so that he would not fall down again. But other people don't have this ability. Zoro, Sanji, Nami, Usopp. Luffy's face changed dramatically and exclaimed. Seeing that Zoro and the others were about to fall into the mouth of the Baron of Stomach, they saw a few figures flashing by. Several people suddenly appeared, caught Zoro in them, and pulled them back. When everyone looked at it, they discovered that these people were the children they saw when they went to the island. Thank you. Thank you so much. If it weren't for you, we would have been swallowed by that huge mouth just now. After the Baron of Stomach was calm again, Luffy kept expressing gratitude to the teenagers who saved them. You are welcome. Here, obesity will become food, so you have to be careful, said one of the teenagers about 10 years old. Thank you very much, but you guys are so amazing, Luffy said. It's really amazing. You should be about 10 years old, some lower, but your strength has surpassed most of the pirates in the sea. I am afraid that you have experienced extraordinary training, Sanji said. Of course, we are members of the Qianlong camp selected by the entire Canadian Empire. Each has a good talent, and the ones who can come here to train are the elites selected from the Qianlong camp. Middle elite. Even if you are a pig, you will become very strong after training here for a period of time. We are nothing. People who are better than us in the Gabriel dynasty abound. The emperor is the most powerful. The young girls in Qianlongying received it. Is that uncle really that good? Luffy asked. Of course, the emperor is the strongest. The emperor is the demon fruit power of the second awakening. The emperor of the sea that was once on the sea has been defeated by him. Marine sent all admiral, together with Marshal Marine and Marine hero Garp, they were defeated by the emperor. Speaking of the prince, the young girls of Qianlongying showed a look of worship. Isn't even grandpa the uncle's opponent? That's really amazing, Luffy said. But sooner or later I will surpass him, but I am going to be the man of One Piece. Don't say that you can't become the One Piece. Even if you become the One Piece, you are not the emperor's opponent, said a teenager Tsunere. That is, the emperor is the second awakened demon fruit power, how could you be the opponent? Another teenager said with a mockery. The awakening you said, the second awakening, what is it? Luffy asked. You don't even know this. Tell you, devil fruit will enter a state of awakening after cultivating to the top. This awakening state will make devil fruit and the capable person more fusion, so as to obtain more terrifying power. Only a few strong people on the sea can do it. Then, the second awakening is when devil fruit is awakened, awakening again, thoroughly fusing with devil fruit's ability, and gaining the power of the devil. This power transcends everything, and only the emperor can achieve the second awakening in the entire world. A young man explained arrogantly. Sounds amazing, Luffy said with bright eyes. Of course it's amazing, Devil Fruit's second awakening is known as ants under the second awakening, the boy said disdainfully. I've also heard this legend, but is it really so powerful? Shouldn't this be an exaggeration? Zoro said. Huh. Remove the word. The Emperor Devil Fruit awakens for the second time and casts a large gravitational wave in the void. It can instantly grab a piece of space, including any objects in the space, and easily summon the meteorites in the universe. It can also be twisted. Space and so on. The former 4 emperors Kaido of the beasts also didn't believe it, but if the emperor hadn't released him, he has still been locked in a seal by the emperor. The young man said coldly. Hearing the boy's words, the few people again opened their mouths in surprise. Especially Usopp, etc., can swallow a big watermelon with an open mouth. It's amazing, I decided. I also want to develop the second awakening of Devil Fruit, Luffy declared. Hearing Luffy's firm announcement, the young man in Qianlongying was stunned. Develop Devil Fruit's second awakening? Did you listen to them? It is impossible for ordinary people to reach even Devil Fruit's awakening. Not to mention that Devil Fruit awakened for the second time. In history, only their Gabriel Emperor successfully achieved the second awakening of Devil Fruit. I advise you not to try to develop the second awakening of Devil Fruit. A voice sounded at this moment. Uncle. Everyone saw Yuri walking slowly. Remember, if you don't want to die, don't do the second awakening of Devil Fruit. Why? The second awakening of Devil Fruit is to completely awaken the power in Devil Fruit, and thus breed demons. It will absorb everything from the capable person, including vitality, to breed the demons in the body, unless you have thousands of years of life and vitality for him to absorb. Otherwise, the second awakening is to seek death by oneself. So that's it. Uncle you. I am so old now because of Devil Fruit's second awakening. I didn't expect that there would be such a price. I thought the uncle was originally like this. Don't look at me like this, I'm still a handsome guy. Yuri smiled. Okay. Let's start the formal training next. If you want to break into the new world, or even seize the big secret treasure to become One Piece, at least you need the strength of the 4 emperors, and this Boeing Islands can allow you to reach the quasi-admiral strength in the shortest time. If you want to reach the level of admiral or even 4 emperors, it depends on your own qualifications, and next I will teach. Can you control your things? What is it? Everyone asked. Thunder breathing method. Yuri said. Hearing Yuri's words, the teenagers of Qianlong camp all around showed shocked expressions. The teenagers of Qianlongying were stunned. Thunder breathing method. This is the secret method of Gabriel Dynasty. It is a peerless secret method created by the emperor. The emperor actually wants to teach these people? In fact, the thunder and lightning breathing method is not a secret in Qianlong camp. Although the thunder and lightning breathing method created by Yuri is not suitable for others to practice. However, as long as the principle is correct, with the scientific research power of the Gabriel Dynasty, the thunder and lightning breathing method can be developed, which is suitable for others. In fact, it is so, after Yuri has handed over the principles of thunder and lightning breathing to the Royal Academy of Sciences. The Royal Academy of Sciences established a group of people to study thunder and lightning breathing methods. As a result, the tiger and leopard thunder tone breathing method, the breathing method of muscles and bones, the stagnation of blood in the breathing method, etc., have been developed. And the members of their Qianlong camp will contact a secret technique called Qianlong breathing technique. However, these breathing methods, and Yuri's lightning breathing methods, are much less effective. For this reason, some strong people in the Gabriel Dynasty use the powerful armament Haki to collide with each other to form the Black Lightning to carry out the thunder and lightning breathing method. People call it the Black Thunder breathing method. The effect is very powerful. Raiden breathing method. What is that? Luffy asked suspiciously. This is a secret cultivation method that I created. It uses lightning to temper the body. The first layer tempers muscle cells, the second layer tempers bones, and the third stimulates the internal organs and improves blood flow. Of course, you can't use lightning. I can't directly practice the thunderbolt breathing method. I can only tell you the principles and experience of it. You develop a breathing method suitable for your own training, Yuri said. If you can develop a breathing method that suits you, and cultivate them to ultimate, perhaps 4 emperors level, you will not be far away, Yuri said. I want to learn, uncle, hurry up and teach me, Luffy said excitedly. Next, Luffy and others stayed on the Boeing Islands. While using the food training on the Boeing Islands, they developed their own breathing methods. At the same time, he fought Qianlong camp on the Boeing Islands. However, Luffy's potential is really great, and it hasn't been long before the teenagers of Qianlongying are not Luffy's opponents. In the end, Yuri had to accompany them personally. A few months passed in such a blink. In a few months, Luffy and their strength improved at an unimaginable speed. The reason why they have progressed so fast is also because they have developed their own breathing methods. Among them, the fastest improving one is naturally Luffy. Luffy's breathing method is called steam boiling breathing method. It is the method of using rubber to beat, to generate steam, and use steam to exercise the body. It is precisely this breathing method developed that makes Luffy stronger than others. However, the consumption of this breathing method is extremely huge. If it is not in the Boeing Islands, whoever practices it will die. In addition, Zoro used Jianao's breathing to develop a breathing method that resonates with everything. The effect is amazing. On this day, Luffy and others are competing against each other after training. At this moment, a figure quickly moved towards this side, and came to Yuri's side in a blink of an eye. The Lord, a major event has occurred in the sea. The visitor handed a newspaper respectfully and said. Yuri looked at the newspaper and said, sure enough, the one that should be here is here. What's the matter, uncle? Luffy and other people walked over and asked. Marine is going to fight the Whitebeard pirates, Yuri said with a faint smile. At the same time passed the newspaper in hand to Luffy. Luffy took a look at the newspaper and immediately changed his face and said, Ace, will be executed. Ace, Fire Fist Ace, isn't that your brother? He is very strong and said, how could it be? The world's inertia is still extremely strong, Ace is still caught. Marine announced that he will be sentenced in a week. No, even if Ace complains about me, I have to save him. I'm sorry everyone, I need to leave for a while. Luffy. What? Luffy, we are all partners. Now that you are in trouble, how could we leave it alone? It's Luffy, we are companions. Ace is Luffy's brother, really can't die. Just to try our practice results during this period of time. Everyone in the Straw Hat Pirate group said one after another. But here is not a short distance from naval headquarters, and only 1 week from execution. How can I catch up? Nami said. Hearing Nami's words, everyone thought, and then turned their eyes to Yuri. It's not impossible to get to naval headquarters from here within a week, Yuri said with a faint smile. Naval headquarters, the Breeze Ceci. Here is the naval headquarters Marine Burn Much. Yuri had been here to play off, but then after a marine and world government, making the island the sea to fill in the original island continental shelf, and finally re-establish a new naval headquarters, to reproduce the original triangle. That's Fire Fist Ace. I heard he was very tough. This is not nonsense. Well, if not, then tough, but also be able to do two-fan Whitebeard captain? Ace looked sentence is pressed on the stage, the audience full of strokes from all over the back of marine soldiers talk and said, 107, road. Whitebeard really coming? There are tensions, Marine said. In Whitebeard's character definitely come back, Marine public executions to his son, if he does not come, then it is not Whitebeard up. We really want to do in Whitebeard war? That was Whitebeard. Whitebeard. So what, now Marine's strength, in addition to Gabriel Dynasty, but no one is Marine opponents. And this Marine but well prepared, Sengoku Marshal, Garp Vice Admiral, 5 Admiral, there's Shichibukai, such a fighting force, Whitebeard even think about coming to rescue Ace. Marine necessary to use a victory, again to deter the sea, Whitebeard is the best choice. Look, Sengoku and Garp Vice Admiral Marshal came. There are a few Admiral. This time Sengoku embarked on a sentence. Taiwan, came to the Ace side. Take the phone worm come. Sengoku said. Yes. Marine soldiers immediately, the phone worm to Sengoku's side. Everyone listening to Sengoku speak into all Marine holding a phone worm. When spoken from the mouth of Sengoku, Ace is the son of Roger Peace Gear Jaw Time. All Marine shocked, people around the world via live telephone insect stunned. One Piece Fire Fist Ace is the son? One Piece Roger's son is still alive? The world's most evil blood is still alive. Legend Roger Gore still continue? Everyone disbelief watching this scene. So you are here today to open sentence is necessary, even if it is for this purpose and Whitebeard war, concluded the Sengoku said. Sengoku hear the words of blood, Marine were immediately morale up. The entire Gulf gradually quiet down, and quiet people to tears. At this time, Marine exploration whistle soldiers, seen from the telescope a pirate ship appeared. Coming. Full ready. Naval headquarters sounded the alarm. But for all surprise, pirate ship appears, indeed Whitebeard's pirate ship. But there was no Whitebeard headquarters found. Also found no Whitebeard pirate ship. Moby no good. At Marine shock, suspicion of the time, Marine months bend like Port Lake, ripple waves suddenly appeared, another sea surge. Implying. Sengoku face cropped up in cold sweat, he thought of something. He will not come out from unexpected places. Garp said, that is to say, but Garp have been identified. Cloth wrong front yet. Whitebeard's lineup also scared the daylight's crane, did not think he would ship coding, attack submarine rushed over. In all shocked, the three of Moby rushed out from the seafloor in the corner. On board, Whitebeard crew headquarters, and all the captains gathered. We have not met for a long time, Sengoku, my dear son, all right? And so I will, Ace. Whitebeard came to the fore, laughing. Whitebeard said a tsunami note to say hello. See seafood shaking off, Kuzan flash, disappeared in their seats, Ice Age, the tsunami in ice. Incidentally attacked Whitebeard. Whitebeard was broken punch attack, while the shockwave transmitted to the Kuzan body. Whole body Kuzan saw body split, fell on the sea. Instant entire sea ice to live, Summit War expansion so far. AC. At the Summit War really intense when a voice startled cry resounded through the power of the battlefield. Everyone's shocked to lift the head, the next moment the figure of several Zala down, right on the center of the battlefield. The road, Luffy. Sea figure suddenly appeared on the battlefield, Ace stunned to open mouth. Suddenly appeared on the battlefield and so few people what Luffy Straw Hat Pirates gang. At Summit War, a loud roar that shocked everyone. Everyone was shocked to see that Straw Hat crew suddenly appeared. Who is this? Suddenly appeared on the battlefield, was it Whitebeard's surprise attack? Isn't it? I haven't seen it, not like a member of the Whitebeard Pirates. Whether it was outside the video or the people in the video, they were all surprised to see the Straw Hat Pirates appear. Is it him, Dragon's son? Akainu raised his head and said thoughtfully. It's Luffy. Kirby said in surprise. Is that guy still here? Garp said helplessly. Luffy. Ace also yelled, his face is full of anxiety. This battlefield is definitely not something that Luffy can participate in. Ace, wait, I'll pass right away. Luffy said as he recruited to Ace. Is this the younger brother that Ace mentioned? Did he come to save Ace too? Not bad vibe. We can't be compared. Everyone in the Whitebeard pirate group also noticed Luffy. The morale rose for a while. The little trash fish from there. Such a top-level battlefield is not something you can participate in. Let us take care of you. A group of Marines rushed out, ready to take care of Luffy. Although Luffy and the others have now defeated Crocodile, Marine has dealt with this matter coldly. So unlike later generations, everyone knows his existence. Instead, Marine's senior management knows Luffy better. Whether it's Garp's grandson, Dragon's son, or because he took Luffy's boat some time ago. All this made them not help raising their vigilance towards Luffy. You can't assume that you haven't heard of it, Sanji said, smoking a cigarette. Just try the strength of the Naval Headquarters soldiers. Akin also said with gears. Naval Headquarters in Mahawk. Although it's a bit early, but just try it out, how much progress has been made. Zoro drew 3 long knives and said. At this time Marine has rushed to the front of Luffy and others. Luffy raised his head, and suddenly a domineering consciousness came out of him. The Marines who rushed in front of him immediately went white, lost consciousness and fell to the ground. Not only that, a large area of Marines suddenly lost consciousness and passed out into a coma. What happened? Hey, what's the situation? Why did these Marines suddenly pass in a coma? I completely lost consciousness. This is Conquerors? This is so amazing that all of a sudden passed out into a coma. Ace's younger brother is as bold as his father. Seeing that his opponent suddenly passed out into a coma, the pirates of the Whitebeard pirate group said in shock. What's the matter? What's the matter? What just happened? Why so suddenly Marine went into a coma? That is Conqueror's hockey. It is definitely the King's qualifications that millions of people have. No, this is too scary, at least tens of thousands of people passed out in a coma. This boy with a straw hat defeated so many Marines in a single blow. What is the origin of it? The people watching outside the video also exclaimed one by one. Hey, what a strong spirit, it's not easy, Kizaru whistled. It's a troublesome family, Sengoku said with an ugly expression. Boiling, boiling, the center of the world, any kid has such a spirit. Doflamingo. Good Conquerors, this guy is not easy, Hancock. Don't think that having Conquerors can lead to lawlessness. We will deal with you. Several Marine Vice Admiral appeared quickly and attacked Luffy and them. Block. Luffy, leave it to us. Zoro blocked the Ghost Spider Vice Admiral who was killed. That's right, Luffy, leave it to us here, you go quickly. Ah Jin also said. Make way for our captain. Sanji shouted and kicked a careless Marine Vice Admiral and kicked him out. Then please, Luffy said. While speaking, Luffy quickly rushed towards the execution platform. This is Naval Headquarters, it's not a place for you to act recklessly. A Naval Headquarters giant Vice Admiral blocked Luffy's way and slashed towards Luffy. Get out of here. Luffy shouted, his body like lightning, flashing across the face of the giant vice admiral who was killing him. A punch brought armament Haki to the giant vice admiral's face. Boom. There was a terrifying sound from this blow, and the giant vice admiral's huge body was hit hard on the ground by this blow. The ground was cracked inch by this impact. Then he sank abruptly. The naval headquarters giant vice admiral, his eyes went white and lost consciousness. Everyone opened their mouths in shock. Naval headquarters of the crowd, and the audience outside of the video have all been Luffy blow to the stunned. Good bad Powerful giant vice admiral turned out to be a hit defeated. This is how could this hat kid in the end is what is the origin, that's naval headquarters giant vice admiral more powerful than the average of the giant vice admiral. This kid is really amazing hat Really worthy conquerors strong, too powerful. Viewers outside the video exclaimed. Ace, brother is very good right. Ace's brother strong strength. We may not be able to make par Ace brother, rushed to take advantage of this opportunity to breath. Everyone Whitebeard pirates of excitement, said, morale has been boosted for a time, toward the sentencing stage to kill. Meanwhile Luffy quickly toward the sentencing stage run in the past, most of the marine in front of him by his conqueror's stun, and Vice Admiral Zoro they have mostly been stopped, so even for a time no one to stop him. You may not be able to make so easily close to the sentence units yet. Seeing that Luffy going out of the ice, we came to the port of naval headquarters. Taiwan sentence from a little distance, a yellow light flashed, Admiral of Headquarters Kizaru appears in front of him. I saw Kizaru lift one foot, feet converge light, flashing to show off. Strong light, feels dazzling eyes up, the next moment Kizaru kicked out. Fast speed of operation, this Kizaru kicked out, the light emitted at an incredible speed. Instantly strikes in front of Luffy, boom. Laser shot, a huge wave of explosions. To get rid of it. Looked at the explosion Kizaru recover the foot says, but his eyes still with a trace of doubt color, such as perceived something. Ace brother. Going to be okay. Kizaru's kick the speed of light is not so good about. At this time, a figure from the side of the explosion rushed out again to continue quickly rushed out toward the sentencing stage. His front is the Marine Admiral Kizaru, it goes without saying that this man Luffy, he did not hesitate to rush to the front toward the Marine Admiral. Well wonder why, is it just missed yet? Kizaru exposed puzzled look. He is absolutely confident of their play of light speed. Luffy do not think this fledgling kid is able to escape. With some doubts, Kizaru lift a finger again. Laser light in his fingers on things converge. The next moment the speed of light emitted from a laser. Kizaru is Logia sparkling fruit's ability to flash people. Although his movement cannot really reach the speed of light, but his attack is indeed the speed of light. For example, the shop incident light, the speed of light is the real attack. Most people simply immune to his attack, just arrived Sabo de Fuego extremely evil generation, there is only laminated copies. Laser beam flashed, an instant hit Luffy's position. But even when the speed of light attack, but still in vain. Luffy no longer there, laser beam emitted from Luffy's side had caused a wave of violent explosion, but Luffy still did not slow down toward Kizaru rushed. This is observation Haki? Ace's brother good strong observation Haki. At least, level is to predict in advance, whether the person cannot escape Kizaru bundle attack. Female Ace's brother, is really just a fledgling guy really strong terrible Who is not, Ace's brother strength, they probably will not be weaker than the captain. So amazing. This time, everyone clearly see. Before Kizaru emitted laser light speed, Luffy flash, moving toward the next 3 feet distance. Luffy just escaped, Kizaru attacks just escaped. All along, Luffy is very easy to hide. Whitebeard Pirates crew were all very surprised Luffy's observation Haki. Ace is also very surprised, although he Luffy see than 3 years earlier, but his strength of Luffy's was very understanding. With his knowledge, Luffy now the strength is absolutely impossible to reach this point. And some time ago they met in Alabasta, at that time, Luffy did not even armament Haki should be skilled, knowledge color do not know there is no awakening. How it will be seen a few, you have such a strong observation Haki. Oh, good powerful observation Haki, let me give it a try, to what extent your observation Haki in the end reach. Kizaru very interested to Luffy up, finger pointing Luffy, constant speed of light from the laser shot on his fingers, as if the storm is generally toward Luffy shoot. Lines of laser beams are intensively directed towards Luffy like raindrops. The speed of these laser beams is the speed of light attack. And said such an intensive attack and such a speed. Most people can't avoid it at all, but Luffy quickly avoided all the laser beams. Oh, it's strange, you seem to have predicted my attack completely. This is not a prediction, but a prediction of the future, right? Kizaru said. Observation Haki's strength is divided into breath perception, danger perception, red attack, advance prediction, and predict the future only in the legend. At the beginning, Kizaru felt that Luffy's experience and color reached a reading attack, and he was even able to predict it in advance. To know that the observation Haki masters on the sea, most of them have reached the level of read attacks. Only some super savvy masters of seeing, hearing and coloring can achieve advanced prediction. Luffy is such a fledgling boy, it is incredible to be able to predict ahead of time. However, through the test just now, Kizaru couldn't help but figure out that Luffy's color domineering has been able to predict the future. Kizaru, who got such a result, couldn't believe it. Foresee the future? Isn't he? He can see the future. Is such a thing really possible? I heard that Katakuri, who is currently adding Emperor Chao Lai, can predict the future. Even Emperor Gabriel praised his observation Haki. Does observation Haki reach that level with that Straw Hat boy? Everyone around was stunned and said with their jaws. Isn't observation Haki foreseeing the future a matter of course? Can't you do it? Luffy said. Who told you that observation Haki predicts the future for granted? Everyone around couldn't help screaming. Oh, what a terrible talent. I can't make you strong here today, otherwise it will inevitably become a major problem for Marine, so your trip is over here, all the hard work. Kizaru took a deep breath and decided to teach this well. Pretend, bragging guy. Kick at the speed of light. Kizaru turned into a flash of light and kicked towards Luffy. Luffy dodges Kizaru's attack easily. You have been attacking all the time, so it should be me. Luffy shouted. At the same time, his hands and feet are exhausted like beating. The next moment Luffy's whole body was hot, and the skin all over his body became as if steamed through. Second gear, steam erupts. It's weird, why is the heat coming out all over? It's weird, aren't you a rubber fruit capable person? Kizaru rolled his eyes and said. Rubber, overwhelming. Luffy rushed forward, pushing his hands back, and when he quickly rushed in front of Kizaru, his palms violently withdrew to Kizaru. When this lesson was launched, Kizaru's face changed drastically. The air will solidify and twist in this push palm. A terrifying force rushed over, did not touch him with both palms. The force of terror has already attacked him. This is Armament Haki's colorless attack, the most important thing is that in the Armament Haki shock. With this terrifying will, this reminded him of Kaido's attack. Kizaru wanted to resist, but couldn't respond. This force struck, turned into a beam of light and flew out towards the distance. Kizaru Admiral. What's the matter? He didn't hit Kizaru Admiral in the attack just now. How could Kizaru Admiral get hit? Isn't it Kizaru Admiral acting, teasing people in? Isn't it? It feels like Kizaru Admiral was hit very hard this time. Seeing the yellow ape being beaten up and flying out, Marine all exclaimed. Especially since the attack just now didn't hit Kizaru at all, but Kizaru was knocked down and flew back. What is going on? Trash. Akainu sneered. Kizaru is here to be funny, Garp said with a big laugh. But Luffy's trick is very good, did you teach it? Crane asked. I didn't teach him this, but it seems that he and Gabriel Yuri have learned a lot recently, Garp said. It's an armed external attack. His armament Haki is of a very high level and can't be underestimated. Kizaru is careless, Kuzan said. The light flickered and gathered. Kizaru appeared in front of everyone again. This isn't it useful? Seeing Kizaru appearing as if nothing happened, Luffy said in surprise. No, this is very useful. If it is stronger, I won't be able to get up, Kizaru said. Just when everyone thought Kizaru was teasing again, they realized that there was a trace of bloodline from the corner of Kizaru's mouth. Does this mean Kizaru is injured? It's terrible. Conquerors is still entwined in your attack. How did you do it? There are not many moves that can be controlled in the entire ocean. This trick was originally called a rubber rocket launcher. The principle of the move is also the same as before. But now Luffy has added Armament Haki and Conqueror's Haki in this move. In addition, Luffy's current strength is completely different from each other. Let the power of this trick reach a completely different point. Launched with a palm, the power of Luffy combined with Armament Haki and Conqueror's Haki, it is completely like an overwhelming situation. Hearing Kizaru's words, other Marine Admirals' eyes on Luffy were completely different. It contains Conqueror's attack, which is to wrap Conqueror's Haki in Armament Haki to attack. This is an ability that can be controlled by a powerful Sea Emperor. This is also the reason why the Emperor of the Sea is stronger than Marine Admiral. How could Luffy control such power at such a young age? Admirals' faces showed incredible expressions. With this ability in control, I'm afraid it won't be long before another Sea Emperor class will appear in the sea. Even Garp opened his mouth open. Even if he knew that Luffy would definitely improve with Yuri's training, he didn't expect to improve so much. It was even more unexpected that Yuri would teach Luffy this level of moves. This is a headache. I was defeated by a kid who had just gone to sea not long ago. I have no face. Don't I need the face of my dignified Marine Admiral? Kizaru raised his head, his eyes were a little bit extra serious. Get out of the way, I'm going to ace, don't get in the way, Luffy shouted. I'm also Marine Admiral anyhow, it really doesn't give me face. Sky Cloud soared. Kizaru pulled both hands, and immediately a huge lightsaber appeared in his hand. Holding a lightsaber, Kizaru slashed towards Luffy with a single sword. Sell. Luffy rushed, his figure was blocked. When Kizaru picked up the lightsaber, his strength was still terrifying, and Luffy was blocked from several breakthroughs. Get out of me, rubber and rubber machine guns. Luffy's fists shot out angrily. Couldn't it be? I can let you pass. Kizaru waved the lightsaber in his hand, and knocked Luffy's fists back one by one, either resisting or provoking. It's amazing. If you don't go on like this, you will be blocked. Seeing that he couldn't break through, Luffy said secretly in a hurry. First, I'm also Marine Admiral anyway, and I still have this strength. Kizaru tilted his head and said. At this time Luffy took a deep breath, his expression became firm. You have to come up with a trick, fourth gear, Steam Warriors, and Superman Rubber Cell. Luffy shouted. Luffy originally looked very thin, and his body hit a circle directly. Boiling steam is emerging from all over the body. The peculiar armament hockey pattern covers the whole body. Make Luffy look like sacred coming. A horrible breath came out of Luffy's body. Everyone looked at Luffy in horror. After Luffy got the Thunderbolt breathing method taught by Yuri, he felt the characteristics of Devil Fruit and developed the steam boiling breathing method. This exercise method consumes a lot, and at the same time, the body also has a certain amount of damage. But there is one thing. The effect of practicing this breathing method is beyond imagination. In just a few months, Luffy's strength increased at a leap. The strength has increased, and various haki will naturally increase. Especially on the island, Yuri often fights with Luffy and the others. Who is Yuri? Even if he lowers his strength to the same level as theirs, his strength completely crushes this Luffy and the others. And Yuri showed no mercy to them at all. Unless they were to die, they would work hard. In order to cope with Yuri's high-intensity attack, Luffy and the others desperately improved themselves. Because they feel that in the battle with Yuri, if they don't improve, they will die. During the battle, both armament haki and observation haki improved rapidly. Especially observation haki, under the strong pressure of Yuri, Luffy has taken control of observation haki, which predicts the future. But even if it controls the emission level armament haki, predicts the future observation haki, and can even entangle Conqueror's haki, there is still no chance of winning in front of Yuri. Finally, Luffy had to find a way from his Devil Fruit. The second block Steam Burst, the third block Steam Erupts, the power of giants. The fourth speed Steam Wushuang, the Rubber Cell Superhuman. The second and third gears are similar to the one in the original book. Just borrowing the steam boiling breathing method, the power is much stronger than the original book. The third gear does not require blowing, and it is directly expanded with steam. Naturally, it is several times stronger in power. And the fourth speed Steam Wushuang, the Rubber Cell Superman, is even more remarkable. Luffy is a rubber man, even the body cells have the characteristics of rubber. The fourth gear is to inject steam and armament haki into the rubber cells. Steam aerates the cells, armament haki strengthens the cells. This allows Luffy to explode with superhuman strength and speed in a short period of time. And in this state, Luffy's defensive power and body cell activity are superhuman. In this state, even Yuri, without using some unconventional power, it is difficult to defeat him. I have a good time in this state, so let's make a quick decision, Luffy said. After speaking, Luffy disappeared, boom. The next moment Kizaru was hit by Luffy with a heavy punch to the ground, turning into a flash of light and shooting into the ground. The ground was shattered by this ray of light, and a large area of the ground was turned into rubble. When everyone saw this scene, they lost their voices collectively. Hey, I'm not mistaken, am I? Kizaru Admiral was hit underground by him? It's terrifying speed and strength, I didn't see his movement at all. False. It must be false, right? Are the young people so scary now? Everyone was dumbfounded. Is Kizaru weak? Definitely not weak, whether it is power or haki, plus the flash fruit ability of the speed of light attack. Kizaru is also the top presence in all Admiral. But now what was punched by Luffy turned into a beam of light, shooting into the ground, life and death unknown. It's not Kizaru's carelessness, the fact that 1-7 will fight on the sea will not care about your carelessness. I already know that Luffy has emission-level armament haki, and can also do the Overlord entanglement attack. Foresee the future observation haki, how can Kizaru be careless? The reason why I was defeated by one move was completely because at this moment, Luffy's strength increased too much. The improvement exceeded Kizaru's expectations. Even beyond the expectations of everyone present. Kula la la la, the wind direction on the battlefield has changed this time, Whitebeard said with a laugh. Don't let the limelight be robbed by the Straw Hat Boy, take this opportunity, rush in and rescue Ace. Whitebeard raised the knife and rushed to the execution platform himself. Daddy is dispatched. No one can stop Daddy. Come on, keep up with the old man. Seeing that Whitebeard had taken the shot himself, everyone in the Whitebeard pirate group rushed out one by one with great excitement. Not good, because Conquerors just now, and the addition of Straw Hat Crew, the formation has been opened a gap, they will break through. Seeing Whitebeard dispatched, Sengoku's face became solemn. At this time, Marco directly relied on his flying ability to fly to the execution platform, and wanted to save Ace. But just when I came to the execution table, I saw an iron fist as big as a casserole waiting for him. A punch knocked him down to the ground. There is an old man here, and no one is allowed to approach the execution platform, Garp said while standing under the execution platform. It's Garp Vice Admiral. It's great, Garp Vice Admiral has taken the shot. Absolutely no one can break through Garp Vice Admiral. Seeing Garp's appearance, the Marines cheered. Listen. All Marines, absolutely can't let them rush in and block them at all costs. Sengoku ordered the phone worm. The appearance of Luffy and his gang messed up their plans. And among the Luffy group, not only Luffy is strong, but Zoro, Sanji, and Akin are also very strong. A few people blocked a dozen Marine Vice Admiral. Now several Marine Vice Admiral have fallen in their hands. I really don't know how such a powerful pirate group suddenly appeared in the sea. Suddenly Sengoku thought of someone at this moment. Akainu met Gabriel Yuri when Alabasta captured Straw Hat Crew. This Straw Hat pirate group, won't it be Gabriel Yuri behind it? Otherwise, who can make Straw Hat Crew so powerful in just a few months? What a troublesome guy. Thinking of Gabriel Yuri Sengoku makes you feel a headache. Under Sengoku's order, Marine desperately rushed out to resist Luffy and others in the Whitebeard pirates. Even Admiral and Shichibukai were dispatched. Shichibukai is not moving, they were standing right in front of them, and everyone from the Whitebeard pirates was killed in front of them, and they couldn't stay still. But Whitebeard and the captains of the Whitebeard pirate group are not vegetarians. Although they may not be able to stop Marine Admiral, it is still possible to resist it with experience and haki. Not to mention Marco, Joz, etc., at this time, Zoro and the others also came, blocking some people. With great strength, Luffy quickly broke through the defense and went to the execution platform. But suddenly the air became extremely hot, and one person blocked his way. This person is Akainu. Last time I saw you on the face of Gabriel Yuri, I didn't expect you to find your own way and go to hell by yourself. Let me finish what I didn't finish last time, Akainu said lightly. It's the one I was last time. I'm not the one I was a few months ago. Luffy killed Akainu without hesitation. A few months ago, it was Akainu that made Luffy feel the horror of Marine Admiral. It is Akainu that makes him lack of strength. Let Luffy understand that with their strength, it is far from enough to enter the New World to obtain the position of One Piece. Akainu never thought that it was because of him that inspired this Luffy to become stronger. Luffy has been able to improve his strength to such a strong level in the past months, and he deserves his credit. Seeing Akainu in front of him this time, Luffy rushed out without hesitation. He is about to experiment with Akainu to see if his strength has grown to the point that it is enough to break into the New World. Then I will see how far you can grow in just a few months, Akainu also said with a sneer. The next moment, the two figures collided together, boom. The horrible energy overflowed, the horrible wind will blow all the pirates and marine that are approaching here. The two figures collided like lightning. At the next moment, the ground broke apart inch by inch because it could not withstand the impact of the two. The terrifying wind generated by the collision between the two lifted everyone around. Hiss. With this blow, Akainu took a deep breath. The power from this blow made Akainu involuntarily retreat to a distance of 3 meters. The most important thing is that the terrifying force of this blow hit his arm with pain. His armament haki and body defenses were broken. The invisible armament haki rushed into the arm, destroying his arm. If it hadn't been for many years of training, I'm afraid his arm would be abolished in this blow. When does this kid have such power? When I was with Alabasta, it was like 2 people. How can it be possible to make such a big improvement in just months? Just when Akainu was shocked, Luffy appeared in front of him again. His fists hit like raindrops, and the power of each punch was like the sky and the earth. It's so powerful. This posture is not weaker than the old man's fight at all. Ace's younger brother is really not easy, it's so powerful. Akainu Admiral was completely crushed and beaten. Who said no? I didn't expect that Akainu would have such a day when he was defeated by a newcomer who had just gone to sea, and his face would be lost today. Nor can I say that. Today this Straw Hat Boy is going to be famous all over the world. Seeing that Akainu was crushed and beaten by Luffy, everyone in the Whitebeard pirate group said in surprise. Asshole, get out of me. Luffy yelled again, punching out. The air was distorted by this punch, the invisible armament hockey, wrapped around this conqueror's, impacted. Although I don't know how to have such a powerful combat power, it is absolutely impossible for a person to reach this level in just a few months. I don't believe how long a power like you can last. Joha Great Eruption. Akainu snorted coldly, said. The next moment thick smoke filled, magma erupted, and a huge flaming lava punch was punched out, colliding with Luffy's attack. The two forces collide together, constantly colliding. The horrible energy constantly impacted from the place of impact. But no one would let anyone gnash their teeth and release their power. 3 swords, Shira thought. At this moment, a figure shot out, like a demon descending. Shira was born, and the terrifying sword light slashed in front of Akainu. Faced with such an attack, Akainu's face also changed, and immediately raised a pitch black arm to resist. But facing Luffy's attack, he was already a little tired of coping, let alone facing Zoro's tricks. Zoro was immediately knocked out by a move. Luffy, leave it to us here, you hurry up and save your brother, can you be caught in the footsteps? Zoro said. No one knows better than Zoro. Although Luffy is very strong now, there is a time limit. This trick can only last for 10 minutes at most. Once 10 minutes have passed, Luffy will become extremely weak. So Luffy bet all this on these 10 minutes, so Luffy must save Ace within 10 minutes, otherwise it will be very troublesome. Hand it over to you. Luffy nodded and said. In these months, Luffy's improvement is the biggest. But Zoro's improvement is not small. Although it may not be able to deal with Akainu, it is absolutely okay to resist for a while. Thinking of this, Luffy left Akainu and ran towards the execution platform. The old man didn't let you go. Akainu stood up and said coldly. He was going to kill Luffy as he spoke. Your opponent is me. At this moment Zoro stood in front of him. You are the swordsman of Straw Hat Crew. It seems that you forgot about Alabasta. Today is just about to settle the bill with you. The two flashed, and immediately fought together. At this time, Luffy had already rushed to the execution stage. But the person standing in front of Luffy is the marine hero monkey, Garp. Seeing Garp in front of Luffy, many people couldn't help but raise their hearts. This is the top C for decades, once chasing the One Piece Roger to run around. A strong man who can compete with the Emperor of the Sea such as Whitebeard. He is not demon fruit power, and does not have the large-scale lethality of Akainu and others. But he started a close fight, but no one can compare it. Even if Luffy's strength is strong, facing such a top powerhouse, I am afraid he is not his opponent. Seeing that Luffy is about to encounter Garp. When everyone is worried, Grandpa, get out of me, suddenly Luffy shouted. Hearing Luffy's words, the position of everyone present was absolutely lost. What? Did you hear me wrong? Garp is the grandpa of the Straw Hat Imp. Luffy, the old man is marine. Garp said gloomily. I don't care. I want Ace to save. You don't care what he says, just let me go. Luffy shouted, and at the same time he punched hard. Bang. What made people stunned was that this punch slammed Garp's face severely, directly knocking his whole person to the ground. Everyone opened their mouths in shock. Garp. Sengoku's face is also ugly. He understands Garp's thoughts, one of his grandsons will be executed. And another grandson came to rescue. After all, Garp was reluctant to stop him. Garp is still old after all. But with me, I will never let you save Ace. Not even if you are Garp's grandson. Sengoku glowed with golden light all over. A huge golden Buddha appeared in front of everyone. With an old man here, you will never be allowed one step closer, Sengoku shouted. At the same time, a palm hit Luffy, and the terrifying shockwave directly hit Luffy. Rubber, siege gun. Luffy punched out, and the muscle cells on his arm exploded at the same time. The power of terror came out, it turned into a torrent of power and collided with Sengoku's shockwave. Huh? How is it possible? Sengoku exclaimed. I saw a terrifying force, tearing open his shockwave, rushing towards him. So strong armament haki, so strong, the power that Luffy exploded at this moment far exceeded Sengoku's expectations. Gradually the force came up, Sengoku was beaten up and flew out and was knocked off the execution platform. And Luffy stepped onto the execution stand. Oh! Everyone in the Whitebeard pirate group cheered. Straw Hat Boy is good. Sure enough, he is Ace's younger brother. Now Ace is finally saved. A good Straw Hat Boy. Hurry up, rescue Ace. Rescue Ace, I'll buy you a drink. The people of the Whitebeard pirates chanted. At the same time, Marine's public morale plummeted. Kizaru Admiral was defeated. Akainu Admiral was defeated. Garp Vice Admiral was defeated and loaded onto the ground. Marshal Sengoku was also defeated. How could this Straw Hat Boy be so good? Ace, stepping onto the execution platform, Luffy exclaimed excitedly. Luffy. Ace is still unbelievable. Ace, we will rescue you right away. Luffy came to Ace's side immediately, grabbed Ace's chains, and wanted to break him. This chain. But as soon as I grasped this chain, Luffy's whole body weakened. There is no useful Luffy. This chain is made of sea stone. As demon fruit power, you can't open it, Ace said. Sea stone. I know how to solve it, Luffy said excitedly. It turns out that when training on the Boeing Islands, Yuri specially trained how to break the sea stone chain. Luffy is a little puzzled. Yuri seems to have known it a long time ago. One day, he will encounter such a thing. I saw that his fingers were aimed at Ace's sea stone handcuffs, but they did not touch them. An invisible force rushed out of the fingers and rushed into the sea stone, continuously destroying the structure of the sea stone from the inside. At this point, I can't let Ace escape anyway. Just let me execute the sentence. Sengoku flew to the execution stage on the moonwalk, and shot directly at Luffy and Ace, and the terrifying shockwave directly rushed out. Everyone exclaimed. The power of Sengoku's attack was extremely terrifying. With Luffy's strength, he might not suffer much injury, but what about Ace? Ace's hands are now clasped by sea stone, and his body is weak and there is no way to resist. Not to mention Sengoku's attack, even the two Sengoku execution officers were able to kill him, let alone Sengoku's horrible attack. Sengoku's horrible attack broke and collapsed the execution platform. At this moment, a terrifying flame exploded. In a passage of flames, Ace rushed out with Luffy. You have become stronger, Luffy. There were expressions of joy on their faces. It turned out that just when Sengoku hit with a palm, Luffy also successfully smashed the sea stone handcuffs with armament haki. Sea stone handcuffs are sturdy, but Luffy controlled the attack in armament haki. The terrifying armament haki penetrated into the sea stone and destroyed the sea stone's handcuffs. When the sea stone handcuffs shattered, Ace regained her freedom. He is Logia demon fruit power. Although Sengoku's shockwave is powerful, it can't cause much damage to him. As for Luffy, as long as the rubber cell is superhuman, few people in the world can hurt him. Long mouth, great. Ace was rescued. We won. It's just that the limelight was all taken out by the Straw Hat Boy. As long as Ace is rescued, the people of the Whitebeard pirate group cheered. Absolutely, can't let you escape. I will execute you here today. The blood of One Piece, I had to get rid of you at one point today. A group of Marines charged up and stopped Ace and Luffy. Fire punch. Rubber, machine gun. Firefly Bodhi Dharma. Ace and Luffy raged for a while, and the Marine in front of them was knocked down. Retreat, we return to New World, Whitebeard said with a laugh at this time. Remnant. The Whitebeard pirates cheered immediately, and in response to Whitebeard's order, it became bigger and bigger. Marine naturally would not watch the Whitebeard pirates evacuate. Under the leadership of Marine Admiral, they intercepted the Whitebeard pirate group one after another. And Sengoku personally got off the court and stopped Luffy and Ace. Ace, you go first. See, Sengoku appeared and Luffy stopped him immediately. Boom boom boom. When the two fought together, it was like two monsters fighting each other. The surrounding ground buildings couldn't withstand the fight between the two, and they collapsed instantly. Ace, who was watching closely, was stunned. I just watched it on the execution bench, and it was not so shocked, but when I saw it close, Ace was really shocked. This kind of battle is like fighting between two dads. In other words, has Luffy's strength now reached the level of dad? Rubber, overwhelming. Rubber, siege cannon. Rubber, anger Shinso. Under Luffy's explosive power, Sengoku was also defeated steadily. He is Martial Marine, he was beaten so embarrassed by a junior, how did his face go, so he insisted on fighting Luffy. The fruit of his big Buddha is also unparalleled in defense, but after a battle, it was scarred. What makes Sengoku more temperless is that, no matter how he attacks, it is difficult to hurt Luffy. All the attacks hit Luffy's body, a large part of the inflated rubber cells bounced away, and the rest of the attacks could not damage Luffy at all. Rubber, overwhelming. Luffy shouted. The terrifying energy rushed to fly out of both palms. Finally, Sengoku couldn't bear it and was knocked away from a distance. Haha, Luffy, when did you become so great? Ace said excitedly. He. I have been training with Uncle Yuri in a place called Boeing Islands in the past few months, where there is a lot of good food. Luffy said with bright eyes. Yuri? Luffy, aren't you talking about Gabriel Yuri? Ace said in surprise. Ace, do you also know Uncle Yuri? I don't know him, but I have heard that he is a monster whose father has become a monster. Luffy and Ace laughed and ran out, and at the same time they greeted Zoro and others to leave. During the fast running, Luffy's legs suddenly softened and he was half kneeling on the ground. Luffy. Ace, who was running, felt strange and stopped and exclaimed. Is the time up? Luffy's whole body was soft. Steam Warriors, the sequelae of Superman Rubber Cell is here. Luffy, are you alright? It's okay, it's a sequelae of that trick. After a short rest, it's alright. Luffy stood up tiredly and said. Sure enough, the power just broke out temporarily, but if you grow up, your threat will be greater than the blood of One Piece, so you will definitely not be able to let you leave here today. At this moment, a voice sounded. Luffy's face changed a lot and looked back. I don't know when Akainu appeared behind him. The hot magma fist lifted up and hit Luffy fiercely. Luffy wants more, but the side effects of Superman Rubber Cell are more than he thought. As soon as I got up, I jumped on the ground again. Luffy feels that when he is over, he must be hit. But the expected terrorist attack did not hit him. The blood dripped down. Luffy looked up and saw Ace's face. And a hot hand through Ace's chest. The corners of Ace's mouth kept flowing blood. His eyes slowly lost his spirit, and the whole person fell to the ground. Ace. Everyone in the Whitebeard Pirates cried out in exclamation. Akainu retracted his fist, and Ace fell weakly to the ground. Ace, Luffy panicked and called Ace. Luffy, run away. Ace said to Luffy. After speaking, Ace's hand dropped weakly. The body became cold. Do you use your life to block a blow for your brother? Unfortunately, your actions are doomed to be useless, Akainu said with a sneer. At the same time, Akainu raised his fist, preparing to make a fatal blow to Luffy. Luffy. Everyone in the Straw Hat Pirates group exclaimed and wanted to come and help, but they were stopped by Marine and Shichibukai. Zoro, the only one who was not stopped, felt it was too late at this time. Ace. Luffy desperately called Ace's name at this time. Suddenly, weird patterns appeared on Luffy's body. These weird patterns are composed of armament haki. But these haki patterns, when they appear, exudes a sacred breath. Akainu's face changed. He has seen this kind of breath from Yuri and the mysterious people of world government. It is said that this is an extraordinary breath. How could it be possible that such a kid like Luffy, how could such a breath appear on his body? Are you here? It's finally started. Yuri, who was lying in the clouds watching the show, raised his head in the sky. At the same time, somewhere in Marie Joy's, a person raised his head, his face changed drastically and disappeared in the next moment. Such a breath, absolutely impossible. You are too dangerous, and die here with your brother, Akainu said with a cold smile, and at the same time the red fist raised the smoke, and the terrifying magma fist was about to hit Luffy. But the next moment, a slap appeared and pressed it on his head. Akainu felt the power of terror coming. The next moment his head and the ground came into close contact. His head hit the ground hard, the ground broke apart in a large area, everything around was destroyed, and the entire island was shaking. Everyone around looked at this scene in horror. And the person doing this next scene is Luffy. He just pressed Akainu's head and even his whole body to the ground, still reluctant to let go, and punched Akainu again. With this punch, most of the island shattered. Akainu's body also exploded, is not an adjective. Nor is it an element of devil fruit, but it was really blown up, and blood splashed everywhere. Everyone saw this scene in horror. One by one showed unbelievable looks, everyone lost their voices collectively. Marine Admiral was killed like this. The large islands were shattered, more terrifying than Whitebeard's attack. At this time, even Marine Admiral were shocked. Shichibukai all lost their voices and was stunned. What? After blasting Akainu with a punch, Luffy let out a terrifying roar. Just such a roar, terrifying sound waves radiated out in all directions, causing countless explosions. All the phone bugs exploded and the live video broadcast ended. Countless people fell to the ground and passed out. fell into a deep coma. There is this terrifying conqueror's spirit in the sound waves, and conqueror's spirit is entwined in the sound waves. Except for a few powerful marine pirates, all the others were stunned. This is what kind of monster has awakened? Sengoku gasped in a cold breath and said. Just when everyone was shocked, another breath of the Holy Spirit appeared. This breath fell from the sky. The terrifying spirit collided with Luffy's spirit. The terrifying black thunder and lightning enveloped the entire naval headquarters. Everyone watched this scene in horror. Is this the Lord? Seeing this person appear, Sengoku exclaimed. What appeared in front of everyone was a man with a mask. Sengoku and others all know this person. He once appeared in the Gabriel dynasty. Start a battle with Yuri, the Emperor of Gali. This is the whole card of World Government Celestial Dragons. The only two extraordinary powerhouses in the world. Why he appeared here, as far as Sengoku country knows, this person will only appear unless the world government is destroyed, or if he is an extraordinary powerhouse. Otherwise, he will not interfere with the affairs of the world government. Then he means Luffy. Thinking of the extraordinary aura exuding from Luffy, could it be that this Straw Hat Boy is an extraordinary powerhouse? The appearance of this person immediately attracted Luffy's attention. Like a natural enemy, as he appeared, the two immediately fought together. Everyone saw two flashes of light colliding together. Their impact immediately erupted with extremely terrifying power, causing all the surroundings to be destroyed. Countless people on the ground who passed out were shaken off. Two rays of light, constantly flickering and colliding, shattered the ground again and again wherever they passed. The island was constantly shaken by their battles, as if the world was the end of the world. The mortals suffered when the gods fought, and countless marine pirates were buried underground because of their battles. This battle is terrifying. Can't be here anymore. Hurry up and rescue those brothers. Many brothers did not die in the marine battle just now, but died in the aftermath. If this continues, the Whitebeard pirates will be wiped out. Evacuate here. Let those who are still awake outside, and leave those nearby. Whitebeard ordered. Whitebeard is leaving. Do you want to stop? Said the Marines. Don't stop them, let them leave, and organize people to rescue our people. We also want to leave here. Malin Fender will collapse again. Sengoku ordered. Marine and the pirates boarded the battleship and evacuated Malin Fender. When they looked back, they saw that Marineford was constantly being destroyed. The two rays of light are like disasters that destroy the world. Wherever he goes, everything is ruined. At this moment, a burst of energy rushed out of the island. The next moment a battleship was hit and was directly destroyed. It's horrible, it's not safe even here. Get out of here quickly. Immediately many warships turned around and left here and fled desperately. This earth-shaking battle lasted 3 days and 3 nights. It's a pity, you still haven't fully recovered in the end, but this time, you still lost. The masked man looked at Luffy who was lying in front of him and couldn't stand up. The 3-day battle made the masked man a little breathless. It's really a pity, I still want you to die together. At this moment a voice sounded. The masked man looked back and didn't know when he was standing there alone. It's you are not dead yet. You are not dead, I still can't rest assured. Do you think this will kill me? No, I just want to pull you out of this world together. Try it if you think you can. In the next moment, 2 rays of light flickered, hitting countless times in an instant. Then the 2 rays of light continuously collided and climbed towards the sky. Infinite exile from the void. At this moment, there was a loud shout from the sky. What? Such power, even you will be swallowed completely. That doesn't matter, I don't worry about you in this world, so let's travel in the void with me. A huge black hole appeared, produce endless gravitational fluctuations. The whole world is shaken by this gravitational force. All parts of the world are moving towards this in horror. The tsunami and earthquake erupted at the same time. This black hole seemed to swallow the entire world. Idiot, stop, you will destroy the whole world like this. A voice of incomparable panic came from the masked population. It's just a small pain. Your existence is the biggest harm in this world. As long as you are gone, I believe this world will be better in the future, but I want to leave a better world for my son. While speaking, Yuri slammed into the masked man, and the two were sucked into the black hole at the same time. Asshole. The masked man screamed unwillingly, and finally disappeared in the black hole. The black hole shrinks and closes slowly. Yuri and the masked man also disappeared into the world of One Piece at the same time. No one knows if Yuri is dead, and Luffy is not dead. After that battle, the story of Luffy still circulates in the sea. A few years later, Luffy brought people to Marie Joy's, and the world government was declared disintegrated. And on another planet in the universe, Yuri drank morning tea leisurely. He has regained his youth. In this world, he has obtained a way of cultivation. The energy cultivated satisfies the needs of devil fruit's evolution.